So that's Cowaramup. How do you say that again? Yeah, right. It's Cowaramup. Cowaramup. Hello and welcome to Cowtown. I'm Myke Bartlett and I'm here today in Cowaramup. Now this is a town that you've probably driven through 100 times on the way to somewhere else, but today we're going to give you some reasons to slow down, get out of the car and explore. Now, you'll probably notice there's a few of our bovine friends scattered around parks and bushes, and it's a common misconception that Cowaramup means Cowtown. It's actually from the Wadandi word for purple-crowned lorikeet, and up meaning place. So it's the place of the purple-crowned lorikeet, not the cow. You've got pretty much everything you need on this small strip on Bustle Highway with a lot to do in a small area. I'll be sampling some of the artisan wares, checking out souvenirs and tasty snacks. For lunch, we'll head to a distillery that's doing something rather different, before a stroll on a nearby trail, and then, well, I'll end the day in the pub. So this place is great. It's got a little bit of everything. Some gifts here if you're wanting something to take home, family, friends, or if they're more foodies, there's a great selection of olive oils, pickles, some local sauces. So if you're thinking of catering for yourself, there's plenty of options too. Local free-to-forage eggs, the Margaret River wood-fired bread. People come from all over for this stuff. Got some high-end chocolates, excellent sauces, some ready meals you can chuck in a pot over a gas stove. And over here, nice selection of cheeses if you're wanting something to go with your local wine come the evening. Big fan of the Manchego. It's really the perfect place to set yourself up for a nice high-end weekend in the country. Now if you are stopping off in Cowaramup, there's one place you're going to find it almost impossible to keep the kids out of. This place has its own special gravitational pull. It's not all just stuff in your face when you come in here. There's actually a little bit of chance for education as well. They do regular demonstrations of how the candy is made on site. So this is Mukau. You may not look it, but that's how it's pronounced. It's a great little collection of giftware, great stuff for the kids, some of these lovely sort of felt and wooden toys. Great selection of books, but I think most interestingly, it's a gallery upstairs which has a really nice selection of some local artists, which we're just going to have a look at now. Got some pieces by Fee Wilkie, who does these fantastic kind of oil pieces you can get as prints, but also, and this is the stuff that I'm really drawn to, these really bold geometric images which you can get in a selection of sizes. I love this picture of the seagulls raiding someone's fish and chips. There's some great works by Chris Spiker, another local artist, really specializes in documenting the natural world. So we've got these galahs here, some carry trees if you prefer something bird-free, but also here a great selection of everything from emus to fairy wrens to some beautiful owls. I mean, the first thing that hits you as you walk in is the smell of chocolate. It's this fantastic, rich, deep, dark, full frontal, very pleasant experience. And there's an amazing amount of different flavors to choose from here, some of which are on the counter here. Hello.
Hello, I'm Georgia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Georgia. What can you tell us about the flavors we've got here?
We've got turmeric, chai and chilli on tasting with cappuccino and also grapefruit and fennel. We like to do some unusual combinations.
So if I wanted something really strange or surprising, what would you recommend?
Cauliflower, caramel and chilli.
Why cauliflower?
Because it's actually a very sweet caramelly-like flavour and it also adds a really good texture. If you pair a very unusual thing with something that people love, they'll always be more attracted to try it and not be scared. It's probably the most popular bar. We make all the caramels and everything here and dehydrate the cauliflower.
Where does the cauliflower come from?
Our local Margaret River. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's got a real crunch. It's almost like honeycomb.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, this is all of our unusual flavours. Coconut and wasabi.
Coconut and wasabi.
Matcha, nori, puffed rice and sesame. And Szechuan pepper.
Szechuan pepper. All right, so this is the coconut and wasabi.
Coconut and wasabi, and it's quite a good combination. The white kind of butters it up a bit, and it's nice and creamy.
Here we go.
Texture.
And that wasabi. Wasabi really sneaks up on you.
And that's, I guess, what we're about at Temper Temper is I'm a chef, so I use flavour combinations and then I add the chocolate just to glue them together, essentially. Adding flavour, texture, spice, something different.
What's the most popular? What do people tend to
Most
walk out
popular, I'd say, is probably honeycomb. And we use
classic.
locally sourced honey, which is really cool.
Local.
Big focus on local. We make everything that we can ourselves. Would you like to try Rice Krispies?
I would love to try it. This is going to be a little bit of flashback. Pretty solid. That's breakfast and lunch for me, I think. A little bite of childhood.
Yeah.
Thank you. When you've had your fill of chocolate, it's very easy to step next door into Seven Seas Teas, which has a slightly different caffeine option on the shelves.
Hi, Kathy. Welcome to the tea shop.
Thank you, Kathy. It's great to be here. I actually always love stopping in here when we come through with the
Thank
kids.
you very much.
Particularly for your Billy tea, which we can talk about in a moment. Lots of coffee shops around.
Yes.
Why a tea shop and why here?
For that exact reason. You've been living here for a long time, couldn't get a decent cup of tea in town, so
Okay.
I thought I'll do it myself.
And Kathy, how did you go about selecting the teas that we've got here?
Well, I just started with teas that I love. So we've got some sort of your favourite black teas here, your English brekkie, your Earl Greys. We've got a lovely Australian grown black tea as well.
Okay.
Our famous Billy tea, which has got a nice kind of campfire element to it with the Lapsang Souchong in there. Our Australian grown black tea, peppermint gum, and the lemon scented gum.
It's that childhood sitting around the campfire, the Billy tea experience, isn't
And
it?
when you're down south, that's what you should be doing, getting out in nature. Other people like to come in for gifts.
Do people stock up on their way to the campsite?
Yes, absolutely, or they'll stock up on the way home.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. So this is the West Winds Tavern here in Cowaramup. It's actually a gin distillery, which is a bit unusual when you consider how many wineries and small breweries there are around the place. We're going to stop in, have a bit of lunch and see what's on offer. This is a great space. I love the nautical theme you've got going here. What's that about?
So the original owners are surfers basically, and so of course the wind blows them from the west back into the land. West wind, so they love the whole seafaring theme. We've got 2 vodkas, we've got 7 gins, we've got a single malt whiskey, and we've got a white rum and a spiced rum.
Oh, fantastic.
And so it's all made by us, and the vodkas and the gins are all made on site in our still. Do you want to see it?
I'd love to see it. Yeah.
Okay,
show
come
us.
through.
And why gin? I mean, this is wine country. How have we ended up with a gin distillery?
It's all about the botanicals,
Okay.
really. Australian botanicals are amazing. So we've got things like Australian native bush tomatoes, lemon myrtle, we've got sea parsley, we've got a lot of beautiful botanicals on our doorstep.
Yeah.
And also our head distiller is actually a winemaker.
Okay.
So he can incorporate
overlap.
some of the beautiful southwest wines as well into the gin. Everything that you see that's in all of the bottle shops all comes straight from Pugwash.
Wow.
He's a little bloke, but he does a lot of work. It's where all the magic happens. This is our next batch of whiskey that's coming through. It's actually been in the barrel since 2011.
Yep.
Our single malt that we've got at the moment, 13 years in an American oak barrel.
Oh, fantastic.
Very exciting, can't wait to open it.
Where should I start? If I was to choose 4 to fill these glasses, which gins would you suggest?
First of all, I'd try the London Dry, our Sabre, which is a very classic, citrus-forward, very refreshing gin. Then we've got our pink gin, which we use strawberry gum leaf in here, and also some Margaret River Cabernet Sauvignon.
Right.
This one is savoury cutlass gin. The savouriness comes from Australian native bush tomatoes. And then we've got our Navy Strength Broadside gin, and we've got 3% salt water from Margaret River Main Break. In here, yeah.
Okay.
The distiller actually
There's
goes
a little
out
bit
and
of
pockets
Margaret
it.
River water.
Every time you take a bottle home, you're taking a little bit of Margaret River home with you.
Well, this is great. The food is here. We're in Cowaramup, of course, so it should be a little surprise that the #1 item on the menu is the Cowtown burger. Some lovely chips. But we also have this fantastic little slice of Indonesia here with some nasi goreng. This is made by their chef, who's Indonesian, and it's all made from scratch. So I'm looking forward to getting tucked into that. But first, I'm going to try a bit of gin. So gourmet food, art galleries, chocolate, tea, that's all great. But there's a reason that we come down south, and it's this. It's the chance to get away from it all, to be surrounded by greenery and a bit of fresh air. And this is the Wadandi Trail, which is only 5 minutes out of town, and it's perfect to get away from it all. But if walking's not your thing, it's a great place to bring the kids. They can ride their bikes, just enjoy being out in the great outdoors. We've been out on the trail, now it's time for something sweet. We were lucky enough to visit the Miller's ice cream farm to see where they made the ice cream on site, but after 14 years the Millers have closed their farm to visitors, but they're still making the ice cream. It's really great stuff, and you can get a scoop or two from Miller's little ice cream shop on the main street. So Paul, you're Paul Miller, this is Miller's Ice Cream.
That's right.
Your family's been here for quite a while, haven't they?
I'm third generation on the same property.
Okay.
So
Third generation dairy farmer?
we were dairy farming up until about 4 years ago. We're about 14 years into our ice cream story.
And you make it all on the farm?
Yes, we do.
Fantastic. Yep. So how many flavours are we looking at here?
There's 40 flavours here. Your favourite for the adults would be a salted caramel or a rum and raisin. We do have a newish ice cream which was made for the CWA to celebrate their 100 years, which is called Lamington. Yeah. We have my wife's favourite, which is an orange and poppy seed. And a gold medal winner is a mascarpone and wild fig.
Fantastic. So if I want to get 3 scoops, do you reckon the mascarpone and fig, orange and poppy seed and Lamington, they're going to go together?
They all go together.
It's 3 down, 37 to go. So Servo might look like an unusual location for the pub. It was, of course, a service station and a mechanic. 2 years ago, a couple turned it into a watering hole for the locals and it built a great social scene around it. What's most remarkable about it is the fantastic range of beer that you'll see on the wall. Not only is there a great selection of beer from local small breweries, there's also some top and occasionally surprising choices from overseas. Why did it seem like a good place to open a bar?
My partner, who's the owner, lived here his whole life.
In Cowaramup?
In Cowaramup, yeah.
Okay.
It's such a tight-knit community. We wanted to open up a space that all the locals had somewhere to go and chat and all that sort of stuff. I would say a majority of the people that come in are locals. Like, we get a good mixture, but like we have lots of locals who come quite often.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing that stands out is you've got an extraordinary range of beer. What's the thinking behind the mix?
We're commercial brewers.
Yep.
So my partner studied in Germany and Chicago, and we just wanted to bring some of those great beers from all over the world to the bar, as well as showcase a lot of the great, awesome breweries that we have locally around here.
I want to try one of the pump beers.
Awesome.
And I think if we're going different, I think Old Peculiar might be a good one to try. I think that's
a great beer. It is an amber ale, a lot of malty kind of characteristics, but they brew it with a little bit of cherry and banana nuts, so you get a little bit of that fruitiness as well as maltiness.
That sounds great to me. Let's give it a go.
Yeah.
So what's the difference about the hand pump compared to the usual taps?
Yep, so for our hand pumps, we're able to pour with nitrogen.
Okay.
So like if you think about Guinness or something like that, we're able to pour the beer with a little bit of that gas as well. So you get a little bit more of a creamier head,
More
a little
of the head
bit,
on the top.
yeah, a little bit smoother, a little bit more body. So yeah.
Fantastic. That looks amazing.
Yeah, that's your Old Peculiar.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoy.
Thank you. Cheers. So that's Cowaramup. There's a lot more to the town than cows. We've had some very surprising chocolates, a bit of gourmet food, a little bit of bushwalking, and some ice cream before ending the day at the Servo behind me. Next time you're driving through, take the time to slow down, pull over, and enjoy some of the many sights that we've checked out today.